Hey everybody, we're going to be doing a beach tumbler tonight. I have 3 to do for Christmas, so I thought, well, we'll do one of them live. And we're going to be using glitter by Black Bear Glitters, and we'll turn you down in just a little bit. Now, I had my internet worked on today. They put in all new equipment, and the speed is much faster than what they clocked it at when they checked it out. So hopefully we're going to have a better experience now. And right now it seems to be doing good, so I hope we do, and I hope this works. So maybe it's going to solve our problem. So I'm going to turn you down, and we're going to get started on this beach tumbler. But before I do, I'm going to tell you all the different things that I used on it. I painted the tumbler. I prepped it, taped the top and the bottom, and sanded it and cleaned it, and then I painted it according to the colors I'm going to be using. So I did a tan for the beach and white for the waves, and then a aqua and a light blue and a dark blue and then a light blue for the sky. And that's the colors that we're going to be using in the glitter, and it just makes your glitter pop more without using as much glitter. So I'm going to turn you down now, and we're going to get started. Okay, I'm going to get you turned down, and then I'm going to pull you up on the computer, and let's cross our fingers that we pop up so I can see what's going on. Give me just a minute, and we'll see if it's going to come up where we can see what's going on. It hasn't come up on the computer yet. So I'll just make sure we got you in there. And the color that I used on the paint for the bottom, I used smoky beige, and then I used white, and this one's called aqua, and this one is called mackerel blue, and this one is called lagoon. So that's the colors that we're going to be using. And now in the glitter, I needed a lighter color for, let me get that propped up, a lighter color than this for my sand. So what I did, I mixed 1 part of this to 3 parts of this to come up with a color I'm going to use for our sand. So this one is the Bare Necessities collection, and this one is the Champagne Wishes, and then this one is Don't Be Salty, and it's in the Elements collection. So I mixed 1 part of this and 3 parts of this to come up with the color that I'm going to be using for the sand. And then blue, it is Randy's River, and then this one is Aquamagreen, and this one is Rich Electric Blue. And then for the sky, I needed a lighter color. So for the sky, I mixed these 2 together, Don't Be Salty and the Rich Electric Blue. I'm sorry, not the Rich Electric Blue, this one, Randy's River. I mixed 1 part of the blue to 2 parts of the white to come up with this color for my sky. So that's what I'm mixing for the sky. And then this one, that's not the color of it, but you'll see it when I put it on the cup. It's lighter than that. But those are the colors that I used, or we will be using. And then remember, for our Epoxy Method, I use teaspoons. I use 1/8 teaspoon of A and 1/8 teaspoon of B. And I've already put the A in there, so now we're going to put the B in there. And we'll stir that for 2 minutes. And we will heat our cup to put it on the cup, because it makes it slide on so much easier. If you hadn't tried it, be sure when you're doing the epoxy method and you're using such little epoxy that you heat your tumbler, because when you heat your tumbler, it just makes that epoxy just glide on. And you're using just such a very small amount that you need to do that. You need to heat your cup anytime you're using the epoxy method. go. Now we're going to put this on our turner. Got that on there, and we'll get it to turning. And I think I pretty much got it, looks like, where you can see it. And I'm going to mash my timer, and I'm going to stir, and I'm going to see if I can find us in the group. See if we can get it to pull up. And maybe it will. Normally when I'm doing lives, I don't answer questions. I know I feel like when you're watching a live, you want to see how to do it and get it done and see what's used, so you have time to go about your business and do your work and be with your family. So ask any question that you want, and I'll go back in after the live, either tonight or tomorrow sometime, and answer your questions. And sometimes I do have a chance where I can look up and see what's going on. Let's see, that's a different one. It's still not coming up. But I go back in and I can look and see what's going on, and that way I can have any comments to whether or not you can hear me, or if the computer's going off or and on the internet. So looks like it's doing really good tonight. I hope it is. They thought that this would help 100%, so maybe it has, other than me being able to pull it up where I can see it on the computer. So, but maybe it'll pop on up. I don't know what the delay is, but it's just not there. Just not there. But anyway, we'll get this going. We'll heat it up. But these 3 beach cups are for the same person, so I want to get them done so she can pick them up next week before Christmas. And this is the last of my Christmas tumblers. I got one to deliver Sunday, but I don't have any more to make after these 3 are done. And tomorrow night we will be doing the plaid, the buffalo plaid. We'll be finishing it up, so I'll announce that and put an event so that we can go live with it. Okay. Now let me wipe my hands off, and we'll heat the cup, and we'll get this on there, and we're going to make it beautiful. Now this will be done in, do it in 2 parts, where the others are taking 3 parts, but we can do this one in 2 parts. We'll do this tonight, get the glitter on it, and then I'll put a good coat of glitter on it tomorrow, and then put the decals on it then when we come back live for the second and last part. Let me get this glitter out of the way that's open. But you want to heat your tumbler pretty good, and that will help getting your epoxy on it, because you're using very, very little epoxy. Okay, you can see it's just very, very little in that cup. So I'm just going to dot it on here. You can see as it comes around, it's just very little. And with it heated like that, you can see how it's just gliding on there so easy. And you want to make sure now that you've got your tumbler covered completely. And we're using that little amount, and you have to really look close to make sure that it's covered, because if it's not, your glitter's not going to stick. Make sure you got it up around the top good. If you don't tape your top and bottom, make sure you cover it good so your glitter will stick around the top and the bottom. I think I'm going to put just a little bit more around this bottom when that comes around. Make sure it's around the rim good. And the top the same way. Okay, looks like it's covered good to me. And we still had just a tiny bit left in the cup. Okay, now you'll get to see my mix that I did with this and this. This is the Champagne Wishes, and this is the Don't Be Salty. That's the two colors that I mixed together to come up with what we're going to be using for our sand, because I wanted a lighter color on the sand. So let me get this. I think that's where you can see it. See, that made a really pretty sand color. Let's see if I can get the light where maybe you can see a little bit better. Maybe that will help. Just make sure you got it covered good. And it doesn't matter if you don't have a distinct line where it joins your white, because we're going to have waves that's going to come down over that. But you can see those two colors together, and I mixed them so that's the sandy beach color that they made, mixing them together. Okay, now we're going to do our white, and it's the Don't Be Salty. And this, I made a boo-boo and got a little bit of blue in it. So maybe it's not going to show up much. And this, you don't want it a perfectly straight line either, because you're going to be mixing some of the blue down in it. And that's Don't Be Salty. And I still hadn't been able to get the live to come up on the page, so let me try one more time. See if we can get it to come up. Finally it came up. Okay, and now we're going to put just a very thin line of the Randy's River. Randy's River. Now we're going to use the Aquamagreen. And that, you don't care if it's a straight line, remember, because that's the way the water is. The water's never a straight line, except when you're looking at the ocean line. When you're looking out toward the ocean, if you're sitting on the beach and you're looking out and it's a pretty clear day, you see a straight line across where the water meets the sky. Now I'm going to do just a little bit more of the Randy's River. Just a little bit right in here. Then we're going to go with the darker blue. The darker blue is Rich Electric Blue. Rich Electric Blue. And that I'm going to do pretty straight around the top. Not completely, but pretty straight. And then I'm going to go back in where I've got a few spots I left, and I'm going to go back with the Aquamagreen. If you look, you can see a few spots I left that are a little bit lighter, and that's so that this will stick and blend in with it a little bit. That's Aquamagreen. And then the next one is where I mixed this one, the Randy's River and the Don't Be Salty. Mix those two together to come up with a lighter color that I'm using for the sky. And this is the color that I came up with to use for the sky. So let's slide it back over so you can see that. Let me clean this off a little bit more. Don't want that to mix up. Hold it up so that it'll be in spots. It's going to be a little bit heavier, and then when we go in after we put the next coat of epoxy on it and we do our waves and our clouds, then you'll be able to see that a little bit better. But that's what we've got for tonight. I don't want to put a lot of the color for the sky on there. Now I'm going to go in and bump it a little bit and get some of that loose off. Now we'll take our tape off. Let's see, I think it's where you can see the whole thing. We'll take the tape off the top first. And then this will turn tonight. And after it turns tonight, then tomorrow I'll get up and I'll put a good coat of epoxy on it. And then the next time we meet to do the second part of this one, we'll add our waves and our clouds. And then once that dries, then I'll come back and put the decals on it and then show you the finished product. But the tape, you can see, I pulled it off right away, and there's a little spot that will come around that you'll be able to see where the paint where the tape overlaps and the paint shows. Well, it may not have done it on this one. I don't even see any epoxy where the epoxy overlapped on the bottom. Normally there's always a tiny line where it overlaps. But all right, that's what we've done for tonight. And then we will let this, it will turn. And once it turns, then tomorrow I'll go in, tomorrow morning, and put a good coat of epoxy on it. So any of your questions that you've got, I'll go in and answer them then tonight. And if I don't get them all answered tonight, then I will tomorrow. And once it turns, oh my goodness, then tomorrow I'll go in. Let's see, there's something tomorrow morning. And listening to myself, let me turn that off. Okay, and then your questions, you leave them, and I'll get you some answers, and I'll announce when we go back to actually put the decals, not the decals, to put the waves and to put the clouds in the sky for this one. So this was just a quick announced live that I decided to go ahead and do and check out the internet, and it seems to have done really good tonight, and I hope that's the case on your side. I did not see it interrupt one time, so maybe we've got the problem fixed now. I hope and pray we have. So y'all have a good rest of the night, and then I'll announce what time we'll be doing the buffalo plaid tomorrow night. I'm sure it'll be 9 o'clock unless Kelly and Rick has any plans for that time, and if so, well then I'll just change it to a different time, and then we'll pick up from there, and then I'll give you a time when we're going to finish this one. So y'all have a great rest of the evening, and leave any questions that you've got, and I'll get you some answers, and I really appreciate you watching. Thank you. Hey everybody, I wanted to come in and show you the finished product for the beach tumbler. I am not going to get to go in and do part 2. I had to go ahead and get it done so I could get it on the turner and get it dried, because I've got to have it out of here on Tuesday. So I went ahead and added my waves, and I added some clouds. You can see I added some seagulls and some seashells, and the photo that the customer wanted on it. We added that. And this is the one that for the bottom, for the sand, I mixed Don't Be Salty, and I mixed Champagne Wishes. And then for the top, to make a lighter blue, I mixed Don't Be Salty and Randy's River. And then the darker blue is Rich Electric Blue, and then the green color is Aquamagreen. And these are colors from Black Bear Glitters. And I think it turned out really pretty, and I think the customer's going to be happy with it. I sure hope that she is. So this is Black Bear Glitters, and this is supposed to be a part 2, but I had to go ahead and get it done, sorry. So I didn't get to do it where you could see me do it live, but this is the finished product. And I hope you enjoy this, and I hope you'll try one if you've not done a beach-themed tumbler. Bye now.